Okay. So I'm just going to walk through a couple things. If you have questions, stop me, put it in the chat. That's totally fine. But I want to walk through a couple things. I know some of you did Fall Academy with us, so you're very familiar with the theme of empower. We want students to own their learning, educators to own their learning, businesses to see different avenues and opportunities with students and teachers. So this is our theme for the year. Very similar academy focus as we have in the past. It's looking at that career exploration, design thinking, building those skills for success. I feel like we have this very dialed in. The majority of our business partners have done this now with us several times. So they're dialed in with it. They get what their role is. They love the challenge idea. They're good at mixing in with the kids. So the program does run really smoothly. If you're new to it this year, I know we have one or two new teachers coming in this year. Rely on your partner. Your partner has probably done this before. So rely on them. They're going to help you. I do know I have one team that has two new teachers to the academy. So I know that's going to be something that's going to be new and different, but you'll be okay. No worries. I'm sure you'll handle it. And know that I'm here and happy to help. And you have this great group of people also who are happy to help with it. We have 30 educators in this year, so we have a really big group of people who definitely will share ideas with you and help you through it as you plan and process it all. These are the partners this year. So you can see the different people who are on here. I know last time we met and talked, they weren't all confirmed. They are now. We have some really good partners, very excited, all have pretty good challenges too. I think businesses are getting better at giving challenges that are more engaging for students that get them excited. We have some new partners in this year. Ottawa Area Dispatch is in this year. Preferred Machining is in this year. Allendale Township Library is in this year. We tried to branch out west a little bit more. So Terrace Square came on board. They did I Challenge You, but then they came on board for this program too. Preferred Machining is over in the Jenison, Hudsonville area as well. So just trying to keep spreading out and offering opportunities for kids. As we look at the program, this is the layout of it by now, and if you haven't, I really want you to email me and let me know. You should have received your driving question from your business partner. I'm going to guess that Hayworth maybe hasn't done that yet. Unfortunately, they always are one of our last ones. But hopefully most of the teams have gotten this, or you're having conversation around it so that you and your partner can start planning. The goal would be that when we launch the program December 12th, that you have some of that. We are having some conversations. I know we always launch in December here, but I'm trying to do what works best for the group. On the survey, everybody liked that date, but we do have someone who this is a harder date for them. So something I want you to think about this year is, do we need to launch in December, or should we push that launch to like January for future years? And just like with Fall Academy this year, we launched on day one and we just went for a full day, and that was our whole day. We've always launched before Christmas to get the kids acquainted. And so I just want you guys to think about that. This year it was too late. We couldn't switch it. But thinking about exams, all of that, is it harder to launch before? So I'll be looking for some feedback from you on that so we can assess what that looks like. Business partners, you're meeting for those 8 weeks, starting right when we get back January 6th. There's no first week back and then rolling in because we got to finish before spring sports come on. And then we're finishing at the end of February, that last week of February in there. They'll have a little longer to do their college course, a month or so, and get that in. Our final celebration will be different this year. We did it with Fall Academy. It's going to be at the Tech Center. If you're a Monday, Wednesday team, it'll be on Wednesday. If you're a Tuesday, Thursday team, it'll be on Thursday, that February 26th, 27th. It will be after school. We've gotten some pushback, more so from pulling you out of class versus the students out of class. But because the program's getting so big, we can't, they don't enjoy when we take 30, 32 teachers out of the classroom. So we have to have it after school, the final celebration. It's just during your normal academy time. So it shouldn't be any different for your students. They're not adding anything to we're still doing 16 visits, but it'll be after school. So that's something. Business partners attended it in the fall. They I think they felt the same as when it was at Santawani during the day. They were fine with it. We still ordered pizza and did all that, so it went okay. As we think about the academy, just a couple reminders I want to give you as you're going into your planning and working with your partner. 2 meetings per week, and they need to be close to 2 hours. We can't be starting the meeting at 3:15 and ending at like 4:30. We've got to hit that 2 hour mark. I get it. It might be an hour and 45 minutes when it's all said and done by the time kids arrive late and all that, but we've got to be shooting for that. So you should be 3-ish to 5-ish should be your time frame. Keep that in mind. If they're packing up and getting ready to go at 4:45, that's fine. I understand that, but we can't be like getting out like 4:15, 4:30. I know sometimes it's hard and kids have places they need to be, but try to keep that time locked in. Make sure as you're moving into your planning, you get your driving question. If you don't have it by this point, please send me an email. I'm going to put another bug in your ambassadors ear. I did meet with all of them. They were all excited and on board. So you should be having your driving question. If you don't yet, let me know. And then make sure you plan for your time. Several of these students have done more than one future prep program at this point. We're getting kids who are like, I did I Challenge Youth. I did this at my middle school during the school year. I did Academy already last semester. So you got to mix up your protocols. We got to put new ones in there for them. Several kids are savvy in this and they don't want to do the same thing. So we got to think about, yes, we have our staple ones that are really great, but what is some new ways that you can push these students to be able to think differently, look at problems differently? What are ways that we can continue to push them? I love that kids are doing our program more than once. That's the goal. We want them to do that. But we also need to think about how do we continue to challenge them and make sure that they're not bored and that we're showing them new tools. So keep that in mind as you're doing your planning. Try to sprinkle in some new stuff. Our manual is all in the Academy folder, so you have that with all the protocols in there. We've added a ton to it over the years, so if you haven't looked at it in a while, take a peek at it because there's some good stuff in there. As you go through your time and your planning, you all know this. This is kind of how you work through it. I know many of you work faster through investigation to have more time for idea creation. Understandable, totally fine. You're going to make this your own. You're going to make it your own pace. Every team will look differently. So if you're hearing from somebody like, oh gosh, we're already coming up with ideas and you're still investigating, it's probably okay. It does not have to look the same for every team. The things that do have to look the same is those mentor meetings, and you can see those right along the side. End of week 2, end of week 4, end of week 6, end of week 8. Making sure that your company partner is confident with those and comfortable with those. That's really important that we keep working those mentor meetings into this. The other stuff you can shuffle around as needed. For that mentoring, keep in mind, we try to keep it 2 to 1. And you might have to push on the businesses a little bit. If they're like, oh, we're going to bring 2 people and you have 8 kids on your team, say, maybe could we bring a third person or a fourth person? That would be really great. 1 to 1 is hard. Most students aren't ready for 1 to 1. So you don't have to push that one so hard. If you have a kid who is, that's really great, but a lot of kids are not ready for that. We would like the students to use that mentor guide that's in their folder. Make sure that they're using that, they're following it. Because some kids we're noticing are having a hard time in these conversations. They're nervous and they're really quiet. So the mentor guide has some questions in it and some prompts in it that might help them keep the conversation. So just having them set some goals of how many questions could you ask from this page and pushing them to do that. Your mentors at the company all should have these guides too. But if you want me to print extra ones and give them to you, then you can just hand them to them when they walk in because maybe they didn't print theirs, maybe they didn't bring theirs, but then they have it too. And that might help them with asking the kids questions. Because I've heard from a few mentors like, oh, my kid's so quiet. They don't really say anything. I'm like, oh, did you ask them some questions from the guide? And they're like, oh, I didn't bring the guide with me. So it might be good. Maybe in your supply bins, I'll just put a couple extra copies of that mentor guide so that you could give them to mentors when they come in and they'll have them. I'm gonna write that down. And then try to get those mentors to come to the final pitch. have them do their last meeting that day with the students and actually come to that final pitch and be a part of it so they can see the kids in the end. As many of you do and already know, get that final pitch scheduled right away. We start with the business. Let's pick our date. Let's do it. It's going to be that February 24th or 25th, that Monday or Tuesday. If they have to do it the week before, we understand that. But that's going to be the goal. Now, this is one more thing before I get to the part that I'm going to need some help on. Launch day, it's going to be very similar. Thursday, December 12th, we have to go to GRCC's Lakeshore campus because we're too big to launch from the tech center. There will be transportation. It's 8:30 to 2:30. So kids will be able to take their CTC buses. I'll send parents an email with how that works. I'll let the schools know that they're going to do that as well. There'll be permission slips that the students will have to do as well. Kids can take their personal cars. There's plenty of parking at the Lakeshore campus. They can go right there. If they take a CTC bus, they'll come to CTC and then they'll get on a shuttle bus and we'll bring them down. There's also vans available for you. So if you need a van for that day, make sure you think about that and let us know. I'll be sending a survey out within the next week of what are your additional supplies you need. And if you need a van that day, you can tell us that too. I believe we reserved some vans with Hamilton, so we'll have some extra ones coming from them. So we should be able to get everybody a van if they need one. And then students will end the day at their business partner. That's the goal, that really that afternoon is your first time with the business partner. We probably will not be doing escape rooms or any of that kind of stuff. You're going to go to your business partner, do something fun with them, maybe have a tour, maybe have a snack, whatever it may be, do some more team building, but you're going to want to spend the afternoon at your business partner's place. So just keeping that in mind. In the past, we've done some other things. If people have gone bowling or done this or that, they'd like us to keep it more to the business partner. So just keep that in mind for launch day. Oh no, where did my slide go? Did I delete it? This is like the actual important one. So, oh, where did that go? That's very odd. Well, I guess I'm just going to talk about it. I had another slide, but it seems to have vanished on me. Well, the other part that we're going to need some help with, and you're going to see an email about this from me, is MCC said the college forms have to be in by December 2nd. You can see where this is a major problem, right? We don't even see the kids before then. I have gone every single angle to get this changed, and this is a battle that I am not winning. Like it just is what it is. So I'm probably going to need some help getting these back. What they did do for me is they created an online fillable form so the kids don't have to print anything. They just have to fill the form out, save it, and send it back to me or to you. I'm going to go for the first round. We're going to see how many we can get. And then I may need your help with like starting to hunt down kids. They have to do their online application and the fillable form. So I'm going to send an email out tomorrow to all the kids who have applied. We have 78 kids who've already applied. Crazy. Like it's filling up very fast. So we're doing great on enrollment. And then we're going to go from there. I'm going to try to get forms back from those parents and those kids as fast as we can. The real concerns are going to be those seniors, because if we miss a junior or sophomore, I can stick them on like next semester, which is fine. They still get the credit, everything. But if we miss a senior, we can't. So I'm definitely going to pay attention to those seniors and their forms. I'll keep track on your spreadsheet of who's turned things in. So I just might need you, if there's some kids in your school, even if they're not necessarily on your team, I might need you to hunt them down and help me get some of their forms back. This I do anticipate being a headache. It's not great. But it's what we can do. I don't want the kids to miss out on the credit, and MCC is not willing to budge on this. So we're going to try our best. We're going to send all the forms to them. You'll see the email. I'm going to copy you on it. So you'll be able to see the fillable form. You'll be able to see the link they go to do their online account. The fillable form will take them probably 30 seconds. It's not hard. Making the online account doesn't take very long either. They just have to have their social security number. So that sometimes creates some problems. but nothing is hard. It's just getting them to actually do it. So my hope is that maybe 50%, the parents will just do it. It'll be easy, we'll be done, and then we'll have to hunt down some kids. So I may reach out to you personally and say, listen, Jim, these are two Spring Lake kids. Can you please just go see them and tell them to do this form, like so that we can get it done? We're going to start the process tomorrow, which gives us about 2.5 weeks to get everything in. And I'm going to obviously pay special attention to our seniors so that they don't slip through the cracks because MCC is, they are not forgiving with this process. I've had to put kids on to the next semester because their forms have come in like one day late. So it's a little bit tricky, but we're just gonna do the best we can. So that was actually my big thing of why I wanted to get in front of you and meet. And I made such a beautiful slide about it. So I'm really sad that happened to go away. I know you guys are too. So we'll all get over it together.